How do we mitigate our damages for wrong actions? All right, that is the question for this video right here, number 19. And welcome to my channel. My name is Thomas. Good to see you out there. I do videos on educational matters of many different types, but right now at the beginning of this channel, we're going through a unit on the Tree of Life. And we're trying to do 144 short videos on the different aspects of the Tree of Life after we've done 144 longer videos with long introductions. So if you need an introduction to Tree of Life, you want to watch the video Tree of Life, a short introduction, or Tree of Life, an introduction, or any of the numbered videos that are up on YouTube that will give you a longer introduction. And also, if you'd like to get a list of those 144 faculties or minor faculties of the tree, just click the link in the description and I will send out a copy for free. That'll help you follow along with these videos. The reason why we do the Tree of Life first is to set the stage and to give you a foundation, because the Tree of Life is like a filing cabinet. It's something that is a great cosmology in and of itself, but it also gives you a framework for being able to organize the rest of your academic pursuits or your educational pursuits. And so when we study these other topics that we're going to get into very soon, the Tree of Life will give you kind of a structure to place those things so that you can recall them easily, access them easily, put them into perspective easily. Okay, so now today we're looking at number 19. How do we mitigate our damages for wrongdoing? Now what we're talking about here is we're talking about a ninth sphere thing. So the ninth sphere, you may remember, is about learning, is about our domestic sphere. So this is what we get in the first years of our life when we're growing up in the home. So in the domestic sphere, and we are very young, and life is new to us, and everything is fascinating. We are fixated on certain things, but especially on the influences that we have within the household, those people who are caring for us, who are nurturing us. We are devoted to them, and we stare at them, and we are picking up things from them that we start to try to imitate what they do. And we practice that over and over until we get it down. And, you know, then we get it down and it kind of goes into our body memory. But this is a learning cycle of the ninth sphere, you know, heightened receptivity, imitation, and repetition and memorization. Okay, and then now remember, the fractals are created when you take the whole tree, all 12 aspects of this tree, and you shrink the tree down and you apply it to each one of those 12 aspects. So we basically end up with a 12 by 12 structure. And so on the ninth sphere, you can imagine a whole tree on the ninth sphere. So the ninth sphere breaks down to the 10th fractal of the ninth sphere, and the 9th fractal, and the 8th fractal, and the 7th fractal, and so on. Now today we're talking about the 4th fractal of the ninth sphere. That's number 19, the 4th fractal of the ninth sphere. Now you remember that the 4th fractal, or the 4th sphere, is about cosmology, it's about the divine plan, and it's about the articulation of the natural law, universal law, universal language, universal love. So those are the things that are involved in the 4th sphere. So we are kind of, in this fractal, we're trying to kind of merge the ideas of the ninth sphere, heightened receptivity, learning cycle, imitation, memorization, repetition, along with this 4th fractal. which is, universal love, universal law, universal language. Okay, so this one, number 19, is called remorse for transgressions. Stage number 19 is about beginning to recognize and regret the wasteful and violent behavior that we learned and accepted in our upbringing. Many thousands of years ago, Dr. X of the gods, with a small g, was one of the few gods devoted to his creation, with a small c. So much so that he married one and injected a loving infusion into our species, into a human wife, begetting a Noah body. This was Dr. X's third upgrade of our gene pool, after primitive intelligence allowed us to follow orders, and after a domestication resulting in the emergence from the law of the jungle. This third infusion gave us a budding conscientiousness with a frontal lobe. Over time, as our morals develop, as our ethics develop, we will not let ourselves get away with transgressions anymore. To demonstrate our conscience, we must really feel bad for our actions by examining other perspectives empathetically with sympathy. We are no longer blind to the commission. Remorse causes us to precipitate and shed some tears, melting the cold blood, an indispensable part of lesson learning. We must feel really bad, including a vow to avoid a repeat offense and make efforts to make it right again. Guilt is a prerequisite for remorse, and it requires expiatory action. So shed some tears, an indication that our blood is getting warmer, warmer than the cold-blooded blue bloods, a liquid conscience, liquid ethics, while solid ethics are blind and will not correct themselves. But if we shed some tears for our devotion to the activity, we will take expiatory action, and we will no longer have wasteful or violent intentions. We don't want to go along with the bad joke at someone else's expense anymore. We don't want to shoot a rabbit in the backyard again. Infused with a bit of moral orientation, a sense of what's right, we recognize that our action was not right. Single jeopardy tipped us off. When we say, shame on me, it makes our blood melt. We are not being too hard on ourselves, just honest. We were wrong. We experience humility upon the commission of a violative act, and we take expiatory action to avoid a repeat offense. Our act was okay with the powers that be, but not with us individually, not as in late Rome anymore. We intend a higher responsibility. Empathy, inseminated by remorse. Our intention is now to not do it. A big step forward toward a spiritual, ethical being. Having a heart starts with remorse. When we get it, we'll regret it. Guilt is a prerequisite, and some intelligence is required. We are no longer blindfolded on that issue now. We are briefly ethical, endowed with a sense of what's right, for primitive conscience, unicellular conscience, an ethical orientation. Our blood is getting warmer toward a spiritual, ethical being. Okay, that is number 19, Remorse for Transgressions, the fourth fractal of the night sphere. Thank you for tuning in. Please press the like button, and you can share, and you can subscribe. You can get my free copy if you click the link in the description. And you can also make comments in the comment section and donate directly to me through Venmo or Cash App. Stay tuned for future videos and have a great day.